Right. Louise Potter, our infamous managing broker at eXp Ohio. Hello, Louise.
Hello. I love being infamous. It's great.
Exactly. So
much more fun than famous.
Exactly. Definitely infamous. No, I'm just kidding. So let's talk about post-closing issues, because you said it's coming up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Give us some context.
I think there are contracts being written that don't have the inspection contingency. They don't have certain things in it that we normally would have. We don't have the time to be as comfortable buying the house that we're buying.
Due diligence periods are being shortened or non-existent.
Non-existent, or people are even buying houses they haven't seen, or, typically you get 2 or 3 walkthroughs of a property before you make an offer. But here you're having to make a decision in 5 minutes, preferably with the offer written before you come in the door.
Right.
So, people are not knowing the home as well as they typically would know. So when things crop up after closing, the first people they look to are the realtors.
Yes.
And we're the very first.
And that's a hard thing, right? Because as realtors, and I imagine we're going to talk about where our role begins and ends, but as realtors, we are naturally helpful people, and we take ownership sort of things, right?
We do. And we use the we a lot. We've done this, and I am doing this, and we it's like, okay, were you one of the buyers of the property? Because if you're saying you're indicating you were.
Yes.
So it's not the client or my client has asked me to share this with you. It is
the buyer, the seller.
We need you to fix this. It's our words implicate us.
Yeah. Okay. So what is give us a mindset for when something, because if you do enough deals, this is going to come up, right? Even if you're getting inspections, it's going to happen. So let's say we helped a buyer find a home, or we the listing agent or whatever, and now there's an issue. The basement flooded. So the agent contacts us, or the buyer contacts us. Now what do we do?
Right. Well, going to the helpful people, we want to come over and inspect the basement, see what happened, take pictures, send that to the other side, and you're doing the right thing. You're shaking your head. No, I like that.
Well, if you know anything about me, I don't like to get in my car. So it's an absolute no.
Yeah. Well, there are people who do like to drive and who do like to do this. And, we really truly care about our clients. They become family to us. So,
absolutely.
We feel personally invested in that transaction. But our job by law, our agency ends at closing. Okay. Our job is to write.
And we're not a party of the contract.
We're not a party to the contract. We're not a buyer. We're not the seller.
In fact, our contract indemnifies us. It doesn't it?
Right. It to a degree it does. Yes. Not against fraud or those kinds of things.
No, but against we don't say that this house is in what's the word I'm looking for? We don't certify the house.
Yeah. We hope we don't, because when somebody says, "Ooh, what do you think of that roof?" "Oh, that roof looks fine." No, Mr. Agent, don't say that. If you have any questions about that roof, ask your inspector.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're having an inspection, So as we talked briefly before we started, right now we're writing contracts on the fly. People haven't had a chance to get comfortable with the house and, understand the ins and outs of what they're buying. I mean, a lot of times they're even buying it sight unseen. So, they haven't had a chance to go back through it 2 and 3 times and have that inspection. And, the seller then can remedy things or whatever. We're just buying the house.
Yeah.
And, the clients are buying the house, and sometimes they're walking in the door with the offer already written before they've seen it.
Right.
So these things that crop up after closing may have been discovered during that period of inspection and whatever. But even if it's not, if something's going to go wrong with the house, it's going to happen within, the first year of purchase.
Right. Well, it's going to happen like in the first week, I feel like too.
Maybe first few days.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But the first phone call they're going to make is to the agent. So our agents.
And they should. We're the resource, right? So
we
be
are
the resource.
Right. Be the resource to a degree. Okay. Because our role ended with closing.
Yes.
Our job is to ensure that the contract is brought to closing. Right. Once it closes, our role ends. Our role is not the guarantor of that contract or to enforce those terms. So if somebody feels that a disclosure wasn't made and it should have been, that's not our job to argue it, because we're not attorneys. So when we start to do that after closing, that's kind of that unauthorized practice of law thing.
Yeah.
That can end you up in front of the Supreme Court of the state of Ohio, because that's where they hear those cases.
But what we can do is say, this is something that you should speak with your attorney about. If you don't have a real estate attorney, here's a few that you can check with or whatever.
You can do that. And you can even say, if you're the seller's agent and I'm the buyer's agent, I can say, hey, Jennifer, please put in writing what your client would like to see happen. Mm-hmm. And send
what is the request?
Yeah. What are they looking for? Send that to me in writing. I will make sure they get that. Then, they can get in touch with each other and work this out, because it's between buyer and seller at this point.
Right.
It's not, go away. I hate you. Bless you.
Thank you. I tried to mute, but it didn't work.
Yeah. But it is, it's our job maybe to be a conduit of request and information, and to put the parties together so that they can work it out or send them to legal counsel. That's where it go. And that's what should happen.
Or sometimes it's like, have you called the home warranty about something? That's happened to me a few times. Like, you had a warranty on the property. Did you call them? You're like, oh no, I can't find the information. Okay, let me send it to you. And then you resend the information.
And homeowners insurance, people forget.
Yeah, they forget.
There's homeowners insurance on a property.
Yeah.
So you talk to your homeowners, insurance people with regards to what happened when the roof fell in, because the tree fell on it.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
probably covered by your insurance.
Likely, yeah, it's not a warranty issue. But I think let's do a couple of tips on what not to do.
Don't go rushing over and take pictures of the water in the basement and write a lengthy email condemning the seller for having not disclosed. Because unless you are an attorney and you are representing that person in the legal capacity, you probably shouldn't do that.
You're right.
On the other side, don't write a long, lengthy email and go into a great deal of detail about why you all are not culpable.
Stay out of it.
Yes. And keep your words clean. My client, the buyer, the seller. It's not we, I, us. Because unless you're part of that transaction, you need to bring yourself back out of it. So, when a problem occurs, the very first thing you should do is contact your broker. Hey, I got a problem. Want to give you a heads up.
Yeah.
We love that. I mean, we don't like the problem, but we love the heads up, because then we can help you wade through it, Right. It's when it gets to the point where, guns have been drawn and they're, shooting at each other, and they call and say, hey, you got a problem.
Yeah, it's hard to step in for sure. Oh my gosh. Yes. Yeah. That's good. That's a really good tips, because it's bound to happen. It's happened to me several times. And you're exactly right. We do feel like, oh, we want to help, but it's like, wait a minute. Like, you got to figure out your role, and it is not to be involved.
Exactly. What is my role, and what can I contribute, and what shouldn't I contribute?
Exactly. Yeah. Like, what is my real sphere of knowledge here? Like, I'm a realtor, and that's what I was paid to do. And this is not a realtor issue.
Right. And if people involve legal counsel, immediately you come to us. The communication stops. Don't talk to the attorneys. Don't send stuff out. Don't come to us, please, so we can help you through it.
Perfect.
So
awesome.
That's really important. Yes.
Cool. So if people have other questions for you, what is the best way to get a hold of you? If they're at EXP, they could just use the work chat. under your name.
Right. Right. Use workplace chat, or they can email me at Louise, Louise .Potter, Potter, just like Harry, at exprealty.net, or give me a call, 614-226-6981. That's my cell phone, and you can call me or text me there.
Awesome. Thank you, Louise. Always a
Thanks,
pleasure.
Jennifer. I love it.
See ya.
Bye.